All right, what's up? Hold on, not working. Complete disaster. Complete disaster. Yeah, what's up, folks? All right, how you doing? Big Chad's in the house. Sorry about that. I had a little bit of a technical difficulty. You want to make sure you folks can hear me out there. Just let me know if you can. I want to say thank you to everybody. Today is, of course, it's December 31st, 2021. Sorry about that. I celebrated a little bit early. You know, isn't quite the full year here, so I had a little bit of a technical difficulty. That's to be expected. I want to say what's up. I want to say much love, and I want to say thank you to everybody for being here and being part of the community. I'm not a huge YouTuber. It's not really what I do, but it's fun. I can kind of reach out to you. I can talk to you a little bit, and it's a little bit more personal, so it's kind of fun. How many of those orange ski masks do you have? I have 3, and I wash them so that they stay clean. So I have 3 of them. I'm drinking a Cabernet. Is the question, Jonathan? Jonathan, thank you very much. Let's get something interesting in the background as well. Thanks for doing a stream. Yeah, it's good to have you. So folks, sorry about that. I was messing with my screen here. The music was off. I am Big Chads. I want to thank you for joining me here tonight. Thank you very much. It is New Year's Eve. I want to offer my love to you. I want to offer my love to your family. I hope everyone's doing well. It's always a chance to have a better year. If you've had tough times in the past, the New Year's Eve is a good time to think about a better tomorrow and a better future. So what I would say is that I hope you do have a better tomorrow and a better future. I'm doing this little stream here just for fun. You can, find me, of course. I'm on Twitter at Big Cheds. I have a book on Amazon. I've talked about it many times. You can check that out. Check out my YouTube channel. I've got a lot of great free stuff. Go to the playlists, educational live streams. If you're just kind of getting started, that's where I'd recommend you start. I also have a cool show on the Crypto Banter YouTube under their playlist for trading wisdom. So check that out as well. And of course, if you're really interested in learning like serious technical analysis, I'm part of Bitcoin.live. I'm a founding analyst. It's the best in class educational platform for crypto. I've been doing twice a week video updates for years. I will not miss one. And our members are really, I think, doing well. And I'm happy. I'm really happy to see that. So what's going on here? I'm checking out with the chat room. I've got some crazy lines up here. I have some notes of what I want to do and things I want to talk about here briefly. There's just a ton of chat messages, and it's just me, right? So I always watch afterwards I'll watch the video, and then I'll kind of check the comments. I'm like, man, I missed that question. There were some great questions. So I'm really sorry. I'm probably not going to see your question. But I'll try to. I'll tell you that much. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you there as well. Everybody says all good. Audio's good. Let's see. Love your book. Can you check ANT? Let's get to that. I'll get to that later. We'll do some altcoins later, okay? I want to talk about Bitcoin a little bit, and then we'll kind of get to whatever is going on in the chat room. Chat, what's going on these diagonal lines? Here's the point, right? There is no such thing as the correct diagonal. There's no such thing as the best diagonal line. It's not about the line, right? It's not about the line. It's about the trend. So you see all these lines, and these are all possible lines you could draw. from resistance and support. The worst is really support because, when you have an initial fall, you end up doing this. You're just going to keep drawing your diagonal. And the whole time, the point there is the whole time, right? You're looking for your higher low. And the whole thing is your higher low, right? Your initial low here, 42, and the higher low generally that 45.6 area, right? You just have that clear higher low, but that's why you have that like constantly adjusting diagonal on the support. Resistance, it's like, you know, every trader, their like worst habit, the worst habit of every trader is trying to like anticipate when a trend is going to change. They always think they're going to come in and catch that moment where the trend is changing, and that's like what diagonal trend line trading is all about, right? That's what like diagonal trading is all about. So they're always drawing like the cleanest line to where they're saying this is it. This is the level right here. No, right here. No, right here. No, I'm telling you, okay, right here. And that's this with the diagonals. You keep adjusting them. You keep adjusting them. Like, what's the point? It's not about here's what simple. First of all, grab a textbook, like, and then you'll know who's telling the truth. That's the best part about technical analysis, right? Is you can find out who's telling you the truth. You know, you don't have to guess. Just grab a textbook. I mean, I tell you every day, it's changed my game. So, why not see if it helps you as well? It's not about it's not about the line, right? A trend line, it's not about the line. It's about the trend. It's showing that falling level of resistance, that falling level of supply, right? The over anxious sellers, right? The inability of bulls to rally and push the demand through that level. So you've got that, you've got that level. It's not the line. It's not about where is it this wick, right? Or is it this wick? If you understand it at least enough to understand that it's not about this wick or this wick, then you shouldn't be to the point where you're like basing your trade off of it, or you're out there, I see a lot of the big accounts where, okay, this is the bottom because it's bouncing off this line. Like, it's not about a line. The line doesn't exist. The line doesn't exist. The trend exists. It's not the line, right? That's why there's horizontal trading. I'm going to show you on short term. I'm going to show you why you're already long right now. You're in a long trade. And it's not just because of, you've studied TA like me, so you understand basic horizontals. And maybe you saw the tweet I posted. All right, I saw all this. I tracked all this blood, and I've been tracking this 1 hour blood. And this is stuff anybody could do who's put in like a few minutes of trading. All right, you have the massive drawdown. Okay, pretty decent move here. How did we get here? Let's kind of back up a little bit. We've been, check my videos, check my feed. We've been talking about kind of the key levels: daily MA50, daily MA200, weekly MA50, and then the kind of the counter trend moves, all these lower Bollinger to EMA34 moves. The prices continued to reject at the EMA34, right? I'm going to check the chat room real quick, make sure I have the volume on. What's going on there? When I see real face, it's not going to happen. It's not about, look, it's privacy is important for me. If that's an issue for you, I would say, thanks for your feedback, but I disagree. And there's probably another channel that will make you happier. But I'm going to give you what I can give you. I will give you what I can give you. That's what I'm doing. I'm giving you what I can give. And hopefully it helps. If it doesn't, other channels, like, move on, brother, right? And Happy New Year to you at Bureau. So we talked about that EMA 34 rejections, right? Right. We talked about the EMA 34 rejections. So you're kind of in that climate where, bulls are in the defense, right? Because we broke down, we had the double top. We've been kind of rejecting here on this lower Bollinger, the EMA 34. So that's like the climate. And then you had that, we had the tower top. So we had this, we've talked about kind of this nasty candle action here with the doji, spinning top in the doji, and that tower top, right? The BART, the tower top. We had one on a 4-hour time frame. We've got kind of bears continuing to push. But we're also kind of in that larger climate, understanding that we may also be in kind of a larger, longer kind of a consolidation range that could take quite a while. So we're kind of, tempering our expectations in that sense. But such that we're understanding that we're in that horizontal range, we're kind of understanding that Rejections might lead from the upper boundary to the lower boundary. So we're kind of watching that price action. We're understanding that, and we're kind of observing the price moving average. Let's undo that. The price moving average interaction. So that's still going on, right? The price with the MA 200. Right? We're kind of always still watching that. Like that's important, and that's kind of what the lead in here. That's the lead into this, and you get that big drop, and like so big drops. Okay, 1 hour chart's pretty good. Uh, 1 hour chart's pretty good. And what you can observe, what you can see is that the price, what you want to watch for is the what you want to watch for are the counter trend moves, right? The trend here is this is the trend, right? This is kind of the momentum, right? Don't get too caught up in like terms and stuff, but you want to think about like direction. You want to think about momentum. Let's see. Gangbuster, happy New Year's to you as well. I appreciate you, Atlas. I appreciate you, right? It's symbiotic. So thank you for that. All right, so cool. Just checking with everybody. How you doing? Projection for 20. I mean, what's the point? I could say a number, but like, what's the point? I don't know. I'd say sideways. I feel like sideways is a good projection. All right. Um, so you've got the trend. That's the climate. You've got this downward pressure, and so what you're watching for are those counter momentum moves, the counter momentum moves. And so when you're watching these counter momentum moves, relief rallies, right? Lower Bollinger dips, right? The Bollinger Band, right? The price movement outside of the standard deviation, that dip below the band. And you're watching for the kind of tops of those moves. And what you can observe, which is your job as a technician, is observing. What you can observe is those counter trend moves are kind of capping off. They're topping off. They're stopping out, right? They're being rejected at that level. And that just gives you a great level. And what you want to do is listen to the price. So when you operate from that standpoint, you can say, hey, like this is great. The price is telling me I'm rejecting here. Such that if I break up above it, I can go long, right? It gives you a clean level to play for a trade. All you want, you're begging, you're pleading, you're searching, you're begging, borrowing, and stealing for a clean level to play, a clean level to structure your trade. Because if you can go long in the break of this level, if it fails to hold it, you can get out, right? You're searching for a play where you can really limit your downside, but open yourself up to just fantastic upside. Okay, in theory. Okay, just as theory. That's what we're doing. We're being theoretical here, but in theory, you could have broken this level here and gone straight to 100K. I mean, in theory, if that was the pivot, if that was the level that kind of bulls were going to regain momentum, and based on kind of the weekly setup with that MA50 proximity, price proximity to the MA50, it wouldn't be unreasonable, right? But if you fail, you're out, right? If that level fails, you're out. So it's that asymmetric risk. So you identify that level, and then you went long. You went long at 48.30, right? And so maybe, if you're really fast, if you're super fast, you're leverage trading, whatever. I mean, you're really quick in the trigger, right? You made some money here. But it came back, it kind of stalled. And then it looked like it was giving us that throwback, right? It looked like it was giving us that throwback. And that's the bullish retest. That's what we look for, right? That's what we do. We have jobs, we have families. We may miss the breakout, right? But maybe we get a bite at the apple on the throwback or the bullish retest, right? Pardon my drawing skills. I'm not Bob Ross over here. But right, how about that? So if you don't get the breakout, maybe you get the throwback. Okay. So maybe we were getting that throwback. And I tried to trade on that and I got stopped out. But someone asked me, like, well, why would you go long there? I would go long there 10 out of 10 times. Exactly 10 out of 10 times. I will go long when a level is that clearly established, and then you kind of break up above it, and then you come back, right? And you come back and you test it. You have a good chance to continue. You didn't, and then we had the up thrust, right? So you have the kind of the up thrust, the false bull break. It was actionable. Like, where's it actionable? You can talk about kind of an idea. Where was it actionable? Right there on that break of those lows, like 47.8. So that was just a great short setup. If you followed this on the 1 hour chart, I just explained it to you how you could have traded in theory both long and short, but you made better money kind of, going against it, or sorry, going with it rather, with the bear momentum, taking that short trade in the 47.8, you dropped more than $2,000. So that's kind of that low time frame trading. Let's say what's up. Thank you for bearing with me. I kind of got into a little bit of a muse there. Let's see. Are you ready for providing? I'm apolitical. I have no political opinion. I didn't vote for either. I did or I didn't. You'll never know. But I don't have a political standpoint. I think too many people are political, and for them, it's like, if you're not on my side, you're not my friend. Like, that's not how I operate. I have friends from all walks of lives. So I recommend trying to avoid labeling people and kind of saying you're my enemy or you're my friend, brother. Let's see. Just got the Japanese candlestick book. Awesome. I really love that book. That, as someone who's new, that's someone who wasn't like, textbook heavy. That was a good one to get started with. I actually read that before I started reading classical charting books. So I would definitely check out that candlestick book. Let's see. Happy New Year. Thank you. Good to see you as always there. Moments of. Appreciate you, Brian. No doubt I'm having fun. Definitely appreciate you, no doubt. Death cross. Like, what time frame are we doing? Is there a death cross? 5,200. Yeah. What do I think about it? I'm not a big death cross guy because oftentimes it's really lagging, and a lot of the time the price is further away. I mean, the price is pretty close to it, so that does kind of make me consider it. But we are in a sideways market, which mutes the signal, right? Which makes it a weak signal, like a reversal signal needs to reverse something. And here's your death cross. Look how well that did. So you want to know my thoughts on the death cross? Tell me how well it did. I mean, from the death cross, you were only below it for like 3 more days, and then you continued on to make a brand new all-time high. So that's what I think about the death cross. Let's see. I'm just checking into the chat room. Thank you. Appreciate that. Everybody loves when people, shower them with praise. So thank you. But I enjoy what I do. And it's like, it is what it is. It is what it is. I definitely enjoy what I do. So thank you, folks. Are we long? I mean, are we long? It depends. I have a couple longs that I took, and I tweeted out like I would go long if. I mean, I literally tweeted it. All right. I mean, so don't. Let's see. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. There, and I literally wasn't even showing you the screen. I did it again, but that's okay. The death cross thing. I did that with the death cross. Hold on. Let me get right back to that. All right. I did this the other day. So let's see. So you asked me about the death cross. All right. Death cross is the SMA, or simply moving average 50 crossing the 200. That would be the brown line crossing the blue. I was saying, like, look what happened last time it crossed it, right? It was below the price for like 3 days, and it ran on to a new high. So, that's how I feel about the death cross. All right. Sorry, I kind of mixed that up. So I want to make sure you saw a visual of why it's not important, right? This is a sideways market. There's some validity to that standpoint. And a moving average cross, you need something to reverse. So it's kind of like a mild cross in a sideways market. Look they're both basically going sideways. So, like, I would say pretty much ignore death crosses. All right. Am I long BTC now? I have a long trade, and I told you why, and I told you before I took it. So I tweeted out, and I was being kind of I was paying attention to myself. I said basically, look, I'm flexing my bear calls because I told people to be cautious. Back here, like, it was not like the nut top, but like right here, I put out a tweet and I said, like, hey, there's a lot of enthusiasm. Be careful. And I said that because we had already bounced lower Bollinger kind of to the upper Bollinger, and we were going sideways, and we haven't gone sideways yet, but we're lower Bollinger to upper Bollinger. I just felt it. It wasn't the nut top, but you get a sense of when the movement is overextended, right? So I was like, I did one of those things where I was like, hey, I made this call, look at me, I'm great. I guess I'm human, right? Words like you want credit for a good call, but also, like, I'm doing my best. I'm giving you my best, most honest approach, and I'm not always right, but it's like honest, and it's good to feel vindicated. I felt vindicated, right? And so I was doing that, but then I realized, hey, I'm flexing my bear calls, which I was like saying, when you flex them after a move down, and you know that tweet, that quote. By the way, I have a quote book coming out. I have a quote book coming out, basically for taking a lot of the quotes from Trading Wisdom and a lot of my new quotes. I'm putting in a cool book. I'm really excited to work on that. But I have the quote where I say, when you send your friend the screenshot of your profit, you should take, screenshot of your position, you should take profit. And it's that whole idea of being observant of yourself. Like a bear can't take credit until there's a bear move. And oftentimes it's like after a bear move. So I was like doing that, and it's like, wait a minute, I'm really flexing my bear call. Maybe it's time for that momentum to kind of reverse back a little bit. And I said, okay. I said, Bitcoin's due for a relief rally. Above 46K would trigger a long, and back below is my stop loss. Because I always talk about like a thesis. Your thesis is like when your idea fails. So I said basically it was right here. So and here's why also too, there also as well, there was a setup for the spring. The false, I showed you the up thrust on the daily where we had the false bull break. Right, with the up thrust in the daily, and then we have the spring here, and then also in the up thrust in the 1 hour. Sorry, I talked about that earlier, right? Where we established that. Let me just kind of be more precise here. Right, we established that level, and the false break of it. You had the opposite of that. That's a spring. I mean, this is right out of a textbook. Okay, this is why I'm telling you, read a textbook. All right, it's not just theoretical. It will help you make money. And I put out my tweet like right here. It was in one of these candles. And I basically said, if we get back up above 46, because back up above 46 would suggest kind of a recapture of that level, you can go long. And you got stopped out a little bit here in this middle candle. But that third candle, it continued through. So there's multiple lessons here. Okay. There's the trade structuring lesson where you're structuring your trade based on the idea that you've lost a level, and if you recapture it, you're going to go long. Then that's lesson one. Lesson two, you have managing your stop loss. You triggered your stop loss when you lost the level. And then the third candle is in lesson three, you can re-enter your position if the original trade idea is validated. It was revalidated. You go long. You went long. So it's out of a textbook. And so yes, I said I'm long because I said I'm going to go long if this happens, and it happened. So, I'm doing what I can do. I mean, it's not like it's a guarantee. You have to manage your risk. But I get kind of that, sometimes I get a spidey sense. And yet, like I said, this one came from me realizing I was flexing my bear call. I was flexing. I was kind of flossing. I was patting myself in the back for telling you to be careful up here. And I have that spidey sense, and like whatever. And I probably also call people out too much, but I'm really passionate about this stuff, right? So that's that. Yes, I'm long because of that trade. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Thanks, Cheds. Thanks to you. All right. I even listed my stop loss. Correct. Exactly. That's the whole point. I listed my stop loss. I stuck to the stop loss. And then I re-entered the trade when the trade was revalidated. And that's how you can do it. And that way you manage your risk. Because that's your only job is to manage your risk. You got stopped out. Yes. And then that was lesson three. You can re-enter a trade that you've been stopped out of if your trade idea, Tim, is revalidated right here in this third candle. You understand what I'm saying? All right. Yeah, but you got to do it nice. I got to be more. I got to be mindful. It's my own ego. My ego is a thing here. So I got to think about why I'm calling people out. So I got to do it more. For a lot of it, though, it's just academic. I want to have an academic discussion with people, and very few people have read a textbook. So that's why I tell you to read a textbook, and you will be ahead of your favorite influencer. Read a textbook. All right. Are you in the? Nah, man. I want to. Someone asked me why not just do audio, but I feel with the visuals, I can connect with you more. There's body language. You can see a little bit of who I am. But privacy is important to me. There's some weird folks out there, and whatever. It just I'm trying to split the line. Is what I do. I would try to find that middle ground. Oh, that's what I'm doing. Read the book. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Let's see. Maybe I'll do a couple alts before we wrap it up here. Some good alts out here. Let's talk about Like Luna, what's going on with Luna? So Luna's been, you want to play bullish stuff and you want to find a good level. The level you want to buy in Luna obviously is going to be the prior high. I mean, it's pretty straightforward stuff. This is technique I've talked about in every video you've seen me put out on YouTube. So, obviously you want to buy back there. Sol is interesting right there. It gave you another bite of the apple at 170? Did you take it? If you were looking for a trade, I wouldn't blame you, because that'd be one of the high probability ones, where if the market rallies, it's got a good chance to continue, because it looked like it was going to kind of bounce, rather than, something that looks weak. Like this looks weak, whatever the CHG, that looks weak. This looks okay. I'll just go up and down this list for you. See what I've got on here. That looks terrible. Cope. CRV looks good, right? CRV looks pretty good, kind of pushing towards range highs. You can see very clearly why it bounced off this level and why you would have been targeting your bids in that level. CRT looks sideways. Dash looks terrible. That's Doge looks terrible. ENJ looks pretty good. It's consolidating. You're looking at the you're looking at kind of that equilibrium, right? You've got a high, a low, you got a high, a low, lower high. You're kind of seeing if this is your lower high, if this is your high or low, rather, you know, get that tightening range to kind of see which one of those breaks. Fetch doesn't look too good. Fill looks terrible. Um, let's see. FTT was once bullish. I wouldn't play it right now. GRT was once amazing. Does not look so good anymore. HBAR looks pretty decent, but there's a lot of better stuff to play. But there's a lot worse stuff. This is more in the middle of the pack. I'm just checking the results. Mana looks good. This is one you want to play. Really, 3 is your money buy zone. Link, not so much. Below the MA200. Hero, not a lot of price history. HNT just looks pretty good. You got a real nice rising trend. MA200. Horde does not look so good. ICX, basically just a boring sideways chart. IOTX, whatever. Jasmine, not enough history. LTC looks terrible. I sold all my LTC at 280. So I think we wait for 100. If Bitcoin rallies here, which it very well may, it very well might actually, I would just wait for if you get above the MA200 and above like 175, I think you can go long. But you've just got strong bear momentum. Wait for 100. KSM kind of sideways, boring chart. Lena sideways. LPT looks, decent as long as it holds 33. It looks okay. LRC is pretty good. Kind of a high and tight consolidation. And I kind of look at this and I kind of look at the rise up and I look how this consolidation is in the upper part of the range, right? That's what I see. LTC looks terrible. I've been telling you that, Harry, for a while, and I've been on like play strength, not weakness. LTO, yeah, kind of sideways. Like media, not so much. Mina, this watch just might be a little bit out of date. MKR boring sideways. Nano, not so much. That looks pretty weak. Neo looks terrible. NKN looks all right. Looks okay. Looks all right. OMG, huh? Below the 200, needs to get above the 200. OMG, kind of weak. REV, boring sideways. See, like that's the thing. Look, most of these don't look so good, right? Most of these don't look great. Like play the best of the best. You have limited funds, limited time. Like play the best of the best. Like this looks great. Rose, look at that. I'm just hitting down on the keyboard in some random watch list, right? And I see this. I'm like, oh, hey, what's going on? Hey, you see the good looking, person and, like, hey, how you doing? Like Rose looks good. Look at that. Real nice, clean horizontal, 22 cents. Really excellent loading opportunities and right back to range highs. You could very easily see this breakthrough. And then that's going to be your new horizontal, right? It's a nice chart. So, boom, play Rose. That's a good one to pay attention to. If it fails here, you buy it back at 35.8. It's a super easy play. And trading's so hard. Trading is so hard. Okay. Even the best the people you think are the best traders, right? The best traders, it's so hard for them. So make it easy on yourself, play an easy setup. So here would be a theoretical setup, an easy setup. Fail, come back, boom, along there. It'd be so easy, right? So look for that type of setup. Don't mess around with that. Whatever this is, Rune. You look at this. You're like, get out of my face. Bring her back. It's Rose. Rose looks great. All right. Shib, yeah, not so much. It's just gonna be a slow bleed on Shib. STX, it's decent. I like how it's consolidating near the top of the range. So I'd say this looks pretty good. It needs more time though. TEL looks like it's breaking down. I know what TLM is. Kind of boring sideways, weak. TRB is definitely weak. Tribe. Let's see. Tribe, yeah, not a lot of history. I don't know what to say. TRX, get out of here. Justin Sun, man. I mean, God bless him for just making an impact, but this thing is just terrible. Like when TRX is pumping, you sell your Bitcoin. You got to be careful. It's one of those coins, and it was pumping like November, whatever, 10th or 11th. The Bitcoin was topping off. UMA looks terrible. Uni looks terrible. Was once a great chart. Looks terrible right now. Vet looks terrible. Wabi, get out of here. All these are terrible. XLM, like if you're in these, I'd have to ask you what you're doing. Like have you just parked your money? Like there's a difference between I see some requests. I'll get some of those. Like you can park your money somewhere, but are you trading? You're not trading if you're parking your money in these garbage charts. That's just like hoping that the trend reverses. XCZ, get out of it. It looks terrible. For example, right? XVG's charts are absolutely terrible. These are just terrible. XYO, Zcash, you really wanted to hold the MA200. I mean, it's right there. So there's a bunch of requests. A couple things were requested. FTM was requested. I mean, FTM's been pretty strong. It has relative strength right now. And what I mean by that is if I look at like the last few days, and then even on lower time frames, like even these 1 hour time windows, you get relative strength. That means it's strong compared to the other market participants during these time frames. And why that's important is you want to it's like figuring out what horse to put your money on, and if you've been at the horse track, and let's say it's the same horses, and let's say they don't get tired. Maybe I don't know if this would be a good analogy before I make it, but the same horses usually finish in the top, 3 or 4. So, and there's other ones that are usually near the bottom of the pack. Well, if it keeps resetting the simulation, who are you going to bet on? Bet on the relative strength. FTM has had relative strength. Had that decent drop off that head and shoulders top. It dropped about 50%. Found support MA200. But right. There's always a but. You've still just got a lower high for now, right? Lower high. So as someone who's not in FTM, what you can say is, I'm looking for a pivot. How do I structure my trade? I don't want to FOMO in. So if you don't want to FOMO in, you can either buy at the EMA 8. You already did that, potentially because you're a good student of the EMA 8 and you understand how great a support that is and how great a level that is for a buy the dip level in any kind of uptrend you potentially bought there. Or you're looking to structure your trade on the break of that lower high structure. Right? You got your trading, by the way, trading journal. Now that will be my book 4. I'm going to do a trading journal. Will be where it's like, what's your thesis? Why are you entering the trade? I'm entering the trade because it broke the pattern of lower highs. What does that mean? That would mean that the price now rallies and breaks that lower high. So that's a suggestion of weakening bear trend, right? So you could say, okay, I'll go long here because if whatever it does up here, whether I take profit or not, if it loses that level, I'm out because my idea was to go long when the bulls had regained that level, right? And that's kind of the point. So either buy the EMA 8, or you're buying the breakout. All right, that was a lot of fun. You can find me. I am on Twitter at Big Cheds. I do a lot of academic observations on price, trading psychology. I tweet out some trades, but they're usually short-term, very risky trades. So I wouldn't really follow them, but perhaps you just maybe look to them to understand kind of the thesis or the reasoning behind them. If I tweet out things you don't understand, go to my YouTube. please consider hitting subscribe. Go to the playlists for the educational live streams. I'm going to talk you through my entire setup, how I do what I do, all that good stuff. It's a really great place to start. Like, Cheds, what do you mean Bollinger Bands? How do I use them? I really went through it. I think I might do another one in a few weeks. I will do another one, and I'll probably do like the whole year of 2021 in review, and we'll walk through kind of each of the different pivot points. I think that'll be fun. Check out my long form interviews. I've had a couple great interviews so far. Check out my emergency live streams. Those are kind of fun. When Bitcoin's at a key level, check out my Ask Me Anythings. Kind of those are fun, kind of variety show. Check out the Banter YouTube. I have a show in there as well. 13 great episodes, great guests. Encourage you to check that out. My book, Trading Wisdom, 50 Lessons Every Trader Should Know. Check that out. I just did the audiobook format recently. That's doing quite well. So thank you for all your support. I love technical analysis. If you'd like to learn my style, I would say a blending of classical charting and Japanese candlestick analysis. I also did the CMT level 1. I'm reading and studying for level 2. Kind of a blend of that. Join Bitcoin.live. I do 2 long form market updates every week. I really cover the whole market, and I will not miss an update. So definitely check that out. All right, Bitcoin, look at that. So you've had really nice follow through already just on that simple trade idea of the spring or the false break and the recapture of that level. So if you did that trade, if you took that trade, you did well, and I'd say congratulations to you. Anyway, I want to say thank you. I really appreciate each and every one of you being a member at Bitcoin. Not big. Oh, sorry. I don't know why that came out. I appreciate all of you watching tonight. Sorry, I had a few drinks. It is New Year's Eve. I am very proud of you all being part of this team and kind of just being here and watching and sending your energy and taking some time out of your day. So thank you so much. And I'll say that we will talk again soon. Let's get the party started. I hope everybody has a great New Year's. I hope everybody has a great year. Do your best. Take what you can. Take what comes to you, and kind of make the most of it. And try to kind of set the right tone. And hopefully things will work out for you. So I want to thank you, folks. I appreciate each and every one of you. Hopefully we'll talk again soon, all right? Big Ched's out.